The central question that divides people and has divided them for hundreds of years. And that is this: what is the source of the problems that we see? What is the source of why is it that some people have more money and other people have less money? What is the source of the failures of certain communities, of some communities to achieve and some to succeed? The answer to this question is what creates conservatives and what I will call leftists, socialists, radicals. People on the left believe that the source of our problems is society, social institutions. The founder of the, how many of you have ever heard of Jean-Jacques Rousseau? Oh, very educated people here. That's good. Rousseau famously said in The Social Contract that man is born free, but is everywhere in chains. Rousseau believed that society was the cause, that people in a state of nature are naturally good. They get along, they're harmonious. When they get into society, they learn to look down on each other, to fight. They become greedy. They want to acquire things that other people don't have and deny people. Man is born free, but everywhere in chains. It should be obvious to anybody, but it's not, that this is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous statement. A baby is not free. It's totally dependent. You are all old enough to know we all have appetites, lusts, tendencies that we have to control. Otherwise, we wouldn't have laws. We wouldn't have morality. What is morality for? Morality is to discipline you from not following all your animal instincts or your and becoming a civilized person. People aren't born civilized. They have to be made that way. What conservatives understand is that the source of our problems is us. If you're church going, you'll hear that every Sunday or Saturday. It's us. We're the problem. Think of, I'm an agnostic, but I understand that a book like the Bible has been around as long as it has because there's wisdom in it. And people don't read over 2,000 years a book, or whatever it is, 3,000, 4,000 years, a book that doesn't have wisdom. Think of the story of Genesis. Adam and Eve were given paradise. It's better than anything that Nancy Pelosi promises. The Garden of Eden. They didn't have to work. There was no pain. They lived forever. Plucked the fruit from the trees. But there was one rule, and that is, do not eat of the knowledge of good and evil. Don't eat from that tree. But our foreparents were too ornery to obey that law. And so they were expelled from the garden. And God put an angel with a flaming sword at the entrance to Eden. This is a very important parable for understanding where we are. An angel with a flaming sword to prevent human beings from returning to Eden. Only by a divine hand could we return. The whole agenda of the left is to return us to Eden. That's what the agenda is. We're going to have a world, there's going to be no racism, there's going to be no sexism, I hate that word, but anyway, no sexism, there's going to be no poverty, there's going to be no war. That's paradise. That's the kingdom of heaven on earth. Now, if you believe that you can get there by changing social institutions. If you're a conservative, you understand that because we're the problem, you have to have laws. During the 60s, we radicals said, we don't need police. Police are only there to guard property. That was the big idea at Woodstock. How many people have ever heard of Woodstock? Oh, wow, amazing. But of course, there were, that was delusional even then. There were all these bad drug trips at Woodstock. But it was followed by Altamont. How many people have ever heard of Altamont? Oh, I can see you all have left-wing teachers. Because Altamont was another big concert. It was 69 as opposed to 68, 1969. And the Rolling Stones gave this concert, and they hired the Hells Angels, who were meth dealers, to be the security, and they killed a black man. They beat him to death with pool cues. And for those of us who had the delusions then, that was a big chastening event. You do need police. They're bad people. Evil is all around us. If you're a progressive, if you're a leftist, if you're a Democrat, you tend to either ignore that or way downplay it. That's why so-called liberal judges are always letting these criminals out, because they didn't have a chance. I mean, the Les Mis, how many people have seen Les Mis? Okay, well, that's a left-wing saga about a man who was punished because he stole a loaf of bread because he was hungry. You don't have to steal a loaf of bread if you're hungry in this country. You got, get your EBT card or your food stamps. When people steal, when they hurt other people, when they're criminals, there's something evil in them that makes them do it. If you believe, however, that you just have to change social institutions, or just give people enough money, just more handouts, we'll just open the doors of universities, whether they're qualified or not, then we're going to have this brave new world. That's the left-wing viewpoint. But if you believe that, think. Then you can change social institutions and bring about the kingdom of heaven on earth. Well, what follows from that? What follows from that is that people who think this idea isn't going to work and bad consequences may follow from it, and therefore they oppose it, those people are evil. That's us, we conservatives. If you ever noticed, liberals, so-called, progressives, leftists, are always interrupting conservatives, and they're always shouting over them. And if you put up posters in their schools that they don't like, they tear them down. Why is that? Because the only thing that's preventing us from getting to the kingdom of heaven is these bad ideas that conservatives had.